I think what I'm gonna do, and hopefully you guys can hear me, it's a little windy out here. I just got a new microphone, but I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of walk around the outside, talk about what I've done to the outside of it, and then we'll pop the hood and look at some of that, and then just kind of start working our way back until we run out of daylight here and see what we can do. So some of the obvious modifications on the exterior is wheels, the bumper. How about I just start at the front? I got a ranch hand bumper here. It's not my favorite bumper, but it was a bumper that it was just the right deal at the right time, and that's what I got. And that's what most of this truck is just kind of the right deal at the right time. It's got some problems. It's rusting in here pretty bad. It's got a whole bunch of rust spots in here, like here, 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 here. So I think what I'm going to do is pull that thing off and Raptor line it. I have not decided yet if I'm going to do it black or if I'm going to try to color match it to the truck. I painted the factory tow hooks red. The grill looked really cool when I first did it. Now it's really chipped up. I need to take it apart, kind of redo that. But this is like a dull gray from the factory, and I color matched it gunmetal gray to match the wheels. The bow tie back here is gunmetal gray to match the wheels. I got smoked headlights and marker lights on Amazon, and then I got they're the Sylvania Silver Stars, and they're the sister company, and now I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, but I know I talked about it in one of my previous videos. We'll have to check it out. If I can remember, I'll type it in down below here. But yeah, so headlights, they're not HID, LED, anything like that. I don't like that. They don't give out a good pattern and they blind everybody. So there's that. Let's talk about my wheels here. For wheels, I got a set of 20 by 12, or excuse me, 20 by 10, negative 19 for the Raceline clutch in a gunmetal gray with the black simulated bead lock. Inside there, let's see if you can see it, I have the power stop slotted and drilled brake rotors, and they're ceramic pads, and they are phenomenal. I highly recommend that. The other thing I did when I did that is I got the stainless steel braided brake lines, and that made a huge difference. This truck stops right now. While we're in here, you can see the Cognito upper control arms that I put on here. This truck doesn't really have a lift kit. It's got a hodgepodge together leveling kit that I put together, and those upper control arms are part of it. Also, the sway bar end links are Cognito, super heavy duty with a Heim joint in them. Underneath the truck, I have the Cognito idler arm and pitman arm supports. That also made a big deal. I was doing idler and pitman arms every 6 months in this truck, and I haven't done one since I did those support systems. It just has Pro Comp leveling keys in it, and that's where it gets its lift from. So it's just a leveling kit, and I have 1.5-inch blocks in the back as well to kind of keep that factory rake, a little less than factory. I just didn't want it to be squatting. I got fog lights, LED fog lights down there on each corner, and then I have that bar that you can see right there. One of the things that I want to add to this truck eventually would be the cab lights up top. That's going to happen one of these days. I keep talking myself in and out of it. This is an antenna mount for my CB radio. It's pretty slick. I think it was stainless steel. I got it on Amazon forever ago. Plasti dipped it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It needs to get redone, but kind of a slick way to do that. It looks almost factory. I kind of wanted my truck to look sort of factory-ish, with it, like, not having a bunch of crazy modifications. And then here it is. When I bought the truck, I told my wife I wasn't going to do anything with it. So here we got the Bushwhacker cutout fender flares. These are you have to cut your fenders with a Sawzall or a grinder. I think I'm going to try to throw some pictures into this video while I'm talking. We'll see if I can figure that out. Then we got the LiQWYD grip step running boards. Let me take a minute and just show you how strong these things are. I'm a big boy, about 250 pounds. I really like these running boards because of how wide they are. They're like 7 inches wide, so there's a lot of room to really get your foot on there. Even when the door is open, there's a lot of room there. And with the like corrugated metal or expanded metal, whatever you want to call it, it's really nice to be able to just put your foot on there, scrape the mud off, and it all falls down below. And I'm a pretty big guy. I'm about 240 pounds, down 10 pounds from a week ago. So I'm in the right direction, but pretty big guy. And here, they don't really flex a whole lot. They're just about the most confident side steps I've ever stepped on. I don't ever feel like I'm going to slip and fall on them. One thing I kind of forgot to mention while we were over here was the tires. And if it's not painfully obvious, I'll just let you know I'm not sponsored by anybody. I just use the stuff that works for me. I've been using these Cooper STT, or excuse me, the Cooper Discoverer ST Max, and I really like them. They have been holding up phenomenally. They're a pretty aggressive tread. I've had them on for 2.5 years now, I think, and just tough. I go down a lot of gravel roads. I have a gravel driveway now, and they're just really not getting cut up that a lot of tires you see from the rocks and stuff. And I'm gonna get 50,000 miles out of this easily, so I'm really happy with those. I guess the next thing we should talk about for exterior modifications is the side mirrors. They're a factory mirror, but they didn't come factory on this truck. I got the expandable extendo mirrors, and I didn't like those, so got a set of factory tow mirrors. I like them, and my wife hates them because she's too short and can't see over them. Another exterior modification is back up in there by the axle there. You can see, I don't know if you can be able to see it, but I got the airlift airbags with the Daystar cradles. I've been really happy with those. I really like them. They've been doing really well with as heavy as my truck is. This thing weighs 8,100 pounds, sitting like you see it right now. That's a 2018 Silverado rear bumper. And you know, that was a pretty easy swap. All these guys on the truck forums and stuff say if you have a HD, get the HD bumper, direct swap. If you have 1500, get a 1500 bumper. Don't listen to none of that. You need a 1500 bumper no matter what truck you have, unless you want to do some modifications, which I did do some modifications because I can't leave anything alone. And so we actually had to lift the bumper up quite a bit, and then I pushed it towards the truck quite a bit. And so I had to cut this factory receiver, kind of cut that at a 45 back because it came up and actually bolted into the old bumper. And then to kind of strengthen that up, let me see if I can crawl up under there. So to strengthen this up, I put a piece of 5/8 rod that goes through the frame. Got a nut down here through the top part of the C of the frame with a nut, and then to the top of the frame a nut, and then a nut on the top of that, and that keeps the frame from getting smashed and also holding all the weight on the frame. It's kind of like boxing it, like a redneck boxing. I'm not sure how to explain that, but there it is. Next thing I should talk about is this rack. Now, I really like this rack, but there's some things I really don't like about this rack, and we'll talk about all that. So I bought this rack off a Craigslist deal, almost how you see it right now, for $100. You cannot beat that. It was painted white when I got it, and it was pretty rusty just surface rust though. I had it sandblasted, and then my father-in-law helped me to build it. Well, not build it, but change it to fit how I wanted it, just a little bit differently. One of the things, this rack just had this part of the support and not the triangle that comes up and catches on the front of the box here. And what it did is it put all the pressure right here, and then as the water was coming down, it rusted the other guy's box right here and then cracked it, and so it was really loose. So by making this plate here, it puts all the weight on the front part of the box and not just on the side. I guess it kind of does both, and that helps to distribute it, and I'm hoping that'll help keep it from rusting out worse than it is. I also put this mesh on here. I'll get some better pictures of it in a minute, but and then I had it like rhino lined, but it's not rhino lined. It was like a friend of a friend deal, and I'm really not happy with the finish on that. So that might change eventually. That's going to change eventually. But I'm going to try to explain to you how this rack is attached to my truck, and show you another modification I've done to this truck. That's one of my top 5 favorite things I've done, is when you open the tailgate, it's got that, I put that gas shock in there, and you need that. Everybody that has a pickup truck needs that. If you don't have that, you'll be wondering why you didn't after you put it on. Go buy one, they're like 20 bucks, do it. So how the rack is attached is this bracket right here is the other side of this piece, and on the bottom of this piece, about here, that slides down into the stake pocket, is a piece of square tubing. So there's a piece of square tubing down into the stake pocket that on the back of it has a nut welded to it, and then this piece of flat right here has a little spacer on the bottom to pinch that, and then this bolt goes through the square tube, and then bolts to that nut to kind of clamp everything in place after it's sitting down. So this rack's not going anywhere. It's really sturdy. I've had a lot of weight on top of this rack in the past. I think at one time I had almost 50 2x4s and 5 sheets of 1/2 inch plywood when I was building some shelving units in my shop. And the truck felt top heavy, but the rack did not feel like it was overweight at all. In fact, I'll probably climb up here real quick and just give you guys an idea how strong this thing is. So you can see this thing is strong, even way out here on the cab. Like I said, I'm 250, and it's pretty stout. So now I'm going to talk about this drawer system, and I'm really not going to go over, you know, all the gear that I have in it or whatever, because right now it's mostly tools. It's not really set up for overlanding. It's not set up for hunting. It's just kind of set up for work right now, and that's for another venture that I'm trying to get going, and hopefully that takes off soon. But these little ladder things, you gotta have plenty of them around. I use the heck out of those. This is my lock for my drawers. I couldn't find a good way to come up to do this, so I just got a block here, but these work good around camp. If you got a flat tire, you always need a chalk. And then I screwed a magnet into the bottom, sits there like that, squeezes in the tailgate, keeps the top from sliding out, keeps the drawers from opening up. I really like it. So these are, you know, pretty basic drawers. They slide out full length. That was too far. And they're pretty strong. Let me see if you're still in the view here. I mean, that's out almost all the way, and I can put quite a bit of weight on it. I wouldn't want to put all of my weight on it, because it might come apart up here a little bit, but let me show you why this drawer system is a little different than other drawer systems. It has a built-in bed slide, and man, I got quite a bit of weight on this right now, so you got to kind of put a little back into it. Everything's friction slide. I don't have any rollers or sliders or drawer slides, anything like that. Friction. So that'll come out at least that far. You could come out further, and the further you pull these drawers out, you know, the more stable that is. So that's really handy. I got these V-rings on here. That's for when I have my kennels in there. They'll strap down to that. If you do build this, you really got to watch your fingies though, because when you're closing these drawers and stuff, you can smash the crap out of them. In this one drawer, I did build a couple shotgun slots for when I'm upland hunting. I can just throw my shotguns in here and then grab my dogs out of the boxes, and away we go. So the way these drawers are attached is I built a U box out of plywood, and then I have a center support here that's slightly mortised into the bottom plywood and then glued and screwed. This is all glued and screwed. Along this edge here, I put a piece of aluminum angle that was, I don't know, I think that's 2 inch by, it was 2 by 2, and then I just ripped it down to that 3/4. Same with this piece here, put that on there. I had some old mat out of another truck or a van, or I don't remember where I got that. Put that on top, and then I'll show you here. Screwed into the side here with this 2x4 to give it some strength. Now on this one, I took it out so that I could fit some more stuff, and it's been fine. Also, so there's screws here, 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 and there that bolt down through with 1/4 inch bolts down to the bottom of my bed with nuts on the bottom side of those, and they're countersunk into that wood so that the drawers can still slide in and out. And then I have a piece of wood right here that goes into this little slot here, and that's screwed in from the inside of this box. What that does is keeps this box from falling open, because it can open up too wide up here, and then this track will fall out. And all that is just mortised a slide there, and then I mortised the bottom of this drawer a little bit to give it a runner. So I just wanted to kind of show you, I got another one of those blocks in on the back side to keep the box from wiggling around and moving back and forth. And then up in the front here, I have this piece of angle iron. It's like upside down and then self-tapped into the front of the box, but this lip catches on the back of my box here, and that keeps it from lifting up. And that piece of angle iron and the 6 screws in the front are the only thing kind of actually holding this box down. Ooh, I almost forgot to mention that I got these lights back here, and those are backup lights. I also have some rock lights that I actually won at a car show that come on, but I didn't put them up in the wheel wells. They're down on the bottom of the frame, so it lights up around camp when at nighttime. They're not, I mean, I really wanted to go mall crawler cool, that's why I did like the 20-inch wheels and stuff, but in practical use, they just don't work that well. The other thing I got was these tail lights. Those are Amazon specials again too, but they're pretty cool. They're smoked LEDs. This little C comes up, that's your marker light, and then you have a brake light and a turn signal in there. I think they look really sweet. I'm really happy with them, the way they look. That back bumper also too, when I do the front bumper, I think I'm going to Rhino line or Raptor line, whatever, this deal. And again, I haven't decided yet on color match Raptor liner to the truck, which is a dark blue or black. So maybe you can tell me in the comments what you guys think. Now we'll go to some of the engine modification stuff I've done. This is a 6-liter gas LS motor. This is a 2005 Silverado. I really like this motor. I really like this truck. I sought out this truck, this motor combination. I didn't want a Duramax. I've had a lot of people say my truck is a Duramax clone. I don't know what that means. I built it the way I wanted it to look with the engine I wanted in it, and I love this truck. I got the Optima yellow top here. I got this really crappy fuse block deal going on here, running down there. It looks like crap. I hate it. I'm gonna fix it. I think I'm gonna make a nice loom going out up there, and then over there I'm gonna have like a little control center deal with all my switches. I don't think I'm gonna do an extra battery setup. If I do, it'll be in the back of the truck. It'll be easy to take in and out. I might use one of my boat batteries, and that'll just be for like charging phones or running lights or something in the back when I'm camping. I got shorty headers down there to open up the exhaust a little bit, but the rest of the exhaust is factory. And I made the conversion to these dual electric fans. I used the fans from A1 Auto. I got a wiring harness from Nelson Performance, and I got down here is the relays for the fans to work. Oh, I got the Air Raid Junior kit with some sort of air filter. I don't think it's a K&N, but it's something like that. I think it's a cleanable, reusable air filter. And then I also have in here the True Cool 40K transmission cooler. Money. That thing is awesome. My transmission never gets hot. It always runs perfectly, towing all kinds of big trailers. So I'm just really happy with this truck. Oh, and then I got I had this truck tuned as well from Colorado Performance, I think was the name of that. I don't have to remember. But yeah, this truck runs good. I get about 13 miles a gallon on the highway, 10 if I'm bopping around town, but you know, it's 35s, 410 geared, 4L80E 4-speed transmission. So I got, you know, a really strong, reliable motor. I got a really strong, reliable transmission setup. I got a good rear end with a 14-bolt full floater. It's open diff. One day, eventually, I'm going to put a selectable locker in there. But for right now, with these tires and everything, I actually get around pretty dang well. Knock on wood, I haven't had any problems. So I guess we can jump in it and talk about some of the interior stuff. Interior wise, this truck's fairly stock. It's a LS trim level, so it's just got cloth seats, the basic radio, nothing fancy. This is some of my wiring harness stuff. I really need to clean that up. Like I said, it's a mess and I'd like to get it better. My whole truck is a mess. It's impossible to keep this thing clean. As you can see, I kind of live out here, and so it's basically impossible to keep anything clean. I cleaned this truck today actually for several hours and it's filthy already. I did put the 07 to 13 center console jump seat in here. That's another one of my top 5 favorite. Maybe I'll do top 5 favorite video or something catchy and cheesy one day, but I'm not going to worry about that now. I really love that center console though. So much more comfortable than the factory one. You have a lot of room here to put your arm. There's tons of storage in here. This pops up. There's more storage under here. I love this thing. I got plenty of cup holders. I took the factory center console cup holders out and riveted them back into this one. I just have cup holders for days. There's 2 more cup holders on the back, and there's 2 cup holders in the back seat. I love it. The other thing I did is I took out the cubby hole up here and I built a switch panel, and that's where all of my switches are for my outside lights. So we got fog lights, light bar, backup lights, and the rock lights, which I'll show you, but you won't be able to see them right now. Really, the rock lights you won't be able to see, but there's the fog lights, the light bar. Go around here. Got these lights under here. Those work really well for lighting up the boat ramps when I'm backing up in the middle of the night and it's dark and you can't see. You can kind of see there's one of the rock lights there. I got another one mounted up here. They do a good job. I'll try to throw some pictures in at the end or something. I have this Mob Armor cell phone holder. Man, this thing works great. Boom. That's all you need. Doesn't ever bounce around. Stays right there going down rough dirt roads. I don't lose it. I love it. I have a Uniden Bearcat 980 SSB that I never use because nobody has CB radios anymore. Should probably change that out to a ham radio. And then I have my little brake controller down here. Also right here, this switch I have, that's actually a switch for my electric fans, for my motor fans, so I can turn those on if my transmission is starting to warm up or anything. It's tied in with the ACC, so the engine has to be on, not on, but turned over. That was also my radio coming on, my CB radio coming on. But now that that's on, that'll fire up and you can see the LED. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that was kind of a tricky switch to wire because you actually have to switch the ground side to fire those fans off, but you have to switch power to light those LEDs. So what I did is I have power coming in here through a fuse tap, and then I can turn on and off a relay that switches the ground side of the fans. So that came out really nice. I'm trying to think, these all light up too, but I don't think I really have any other interior mods. Other than that, oh, how could I forget? WeatherTech floor mats, gotta have those. That's on the top 5 list for sure. I had those within a month of owning this truck. They were a gift to me, but I would have bought them anyway. I love them, have to have them. And would you look at that? I swear I get the most beautiful sunsets out here. I know right now I'm getting some really good ones because of the Cameron Peak fire in Colorado, but you gotta appreciate the beauty and all the disaster, I suppose. But that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I hope that you like this video. Sorry my shirt is soaking wet because I spent all day washing this truck, but this dark blue color, you can never keep it clean. That's one of my top 5 dislikes about this truck probably, but it's never clean. As soon as you get done washing it, it's filthy. But this is the walk around video for my 05 Silverado, and appreciate you guys sticking around. I hope you like the video, and check out my other videos. And if you guys have any questions or comments about this, please click them, type them in there down below and let me know what you think. Or if you have any questions on the rack or the box or any of the suspension stuff, just ask me. I have no problem letting you guys know. You can ask me on Instagram at Colorado DIY Garage or on the comments here on YouTube. So like, subscribe, tell your friends, I guess, and thanks for sticking around. See you later. As soon as I turned this camera off, I remembered Osram. That's the headlights. Osram. Thanks for sticking around. See ya.